Well, amid ethanol demand destruction, America's top biofuel and farm advocates call on congressional leaders to ensure the next round of COVID-19 relief doesn't overlook ethanol or biodiesel. Renewable Fuels Association President and CEO Jeff Cooper now joins us once again with the latest from the industry. Jeff, as always, thanks for your time today. So first of all, give us an update on the impact. What are you seeing in regards, of course, to fuel demand and shutdowns?
Well, Janet, we are seeing a little bit of recovery in fuel demand, but it is very slow, and we still remain about 40% below year-ago levels when we look at fuel consumption out there. People are still not driving. They're not back on the roads anywhere close to what we were seeing before COVID. So we are beginning to climb out of that hole, but we have a very, very long way to go. And about half of our industry remains shut down today just because of the lack of demand we're seeing for ethanol.
So what is it that you're calling on from the House and, of course, Senate leaders?
Well, I think, as you know, just about every other agricultural sector received some sort of aid in the last coronavirus relief and stimulus bill, but ethanol was left behind. And our industry, as I mentioned, has been particularly hard hit. But we did see some very good news just yesterday. The kind of the next round of emergency relief bill that came out of the House does include emergency relief measures for ethanol producers, and we were very excited and pleased to see that. And we hope that moves through the House quickly and onto the Senate, and hope it becomes law soon.
Now, in another development just this week, Colombia has announced that it's planning to impose new anti-dumping duties on U.S. ethanol. What discrepancies do you see in this taking place?
Well, yeah, it sort of feels like two steps forward and one step back. We are seeing some progress here in the domestic market with a little bit of recovery, but now we're seeing some challenges in our export markets. The Colombian Ministry of Commerce just over the weekend decided to impose a 20-cent per gallon import duty on U.S. ethanol exports to Colombia. That's a real disappointment for us. Colombia had been a top 10 export market and a market that was growing. We had cooperated fully with the Colombian government as they were investigating allegations of dumping in that market. They really didn't find any evidence of dumping, but they went ahead and levied this duty anyway, which just is, one more barrier for our industry to try and overcome in the export market.
And Jeff, you mentioned two steps forward, one step back, or one step forward, two steps back. Speaking of that next step, what would you like to see take place?
Well, I think we're very much focused right now on, as I said, securing some emergency relief assistance for the ethanol industry in this emerging relief package that is moving its way through Congress and is in the House this week. And we're going to keep our eye on the ball and try to see that through and hope that we can, access some of that assistance to keep our workforce and retain those employees, but also provide the resources that our ethanol plants are going to need to really ramp production back up when things return to normal.
All right, Jeff, as always, thanks for your insight today. Renewable Fuels Association President and CEO Jeff Cooper on the phone with us today from St. Louis, Missouri.